Hey everyone, hope you had a good trading day. It's Tuesday, February 4th. So I wanted to do a quick recap and video of what happened today, the kind of the trades you took, things like that. So first things first, if we look at open today, we've got our liquidity maps up. It was pretty interesting. The first thing we noticed, I'm looking at Qs here, is the open close zone was very tight from yesterday's close. We gapped up barely, and so I was a little hesitant out of the bat to take anything here, but in hindsight, it was the clear play. Um, Resilience was really strong. It kind of was it took a minute to get its footing, and that's the problem on Qs is by the time it did, so you see this one was negative, and then it gets up here and turns positive and doesn't look back. So I never got in anything during market hours on NQ today. If we take a look at SPY here, it was a very similar look. The redistribution zone here from open to close was even tighter on SPY. But this one looked good off the open for a long, and I just didn't take it. We were negative for a minute, but as soon as we claim here, we come back and test it right here. And that was probably a spot where you could jump in there, go long, and give it a go. Would have been a really big trade. I did not do that. I was actually already in a trade when this happened on SPY, so I'll show you that on my other screen. But really then, for me, and using the Rocket Scooter tools, after open today, there was nothing to even look at for me. It was just all up in the bull zone. There were no levels or anything here. There is one level I'll show you on the ES chart, but overall there was just nothing here for me to try to trade based on my strategy. If we flip back to Qs, there's some stuff here you could do as it gets out of the top of the bull zone and maybe taking scalps from there to there, but even from, let's see, 520, it's not even a 10-point move hardly in between here, so not something I wanted to play with, especially given the day. The move we were waiting on originally out of the go, and Matt was discussing on the stream this morning, was maybe a pullback here, and then we can get in. It just never did that. It was too strong, and off it went. So let's look at, I'll show you the trades. I took some trades overnight. I had a really big day. I think I had probably around a $2,500 day, maybe 2,300, somewhere in there today. So it was, but most of these trades were overnight, except the one I took this morning. So if we go back to last night, off the open on the, we gapped up on the evening futures when it opened. And so we have levels in the Discord each night that are basically like you've heard us talk about MHP and HP during market hours with the liquidity maps. We've got levels that represent those for overnight. And so we had 60.62 and 60.46.75 as those levels. So my plan is when we opened up, in 60.68, this yellow line, you're going to, if you went back on a map and looked at this, how many times price has been right here. We're not getting into that today. That's a whole class Matt does on yellow lines. But just know that it's an area where there's volume. And so that's where we opened. We rejected from there. And we're trending down, right? But I normally don't do this at night because I like when these levels here, like either the low or the high, are very close to MHP, where you can get in one and still within your 10 point stop, MHP will be underneath it. So that allows me some leeway. If I'm in early, we could still have another level to bounce behind it. This was 24 points, and if I'm being honest, I shouldn't have taken this. I should have just waited. I've been on a good run. Let's be honest, I just wanted to trade. So I wanted to be in something overnight, and so it's not a terrible. I've taken these trades before, but given how far these are apart and we're trending down, I was basically just trying to catch a falling knife here, and it didn't work. So that stopped me out. So I shifted my focus over to NQ because if you look here, we've got the same thing, but it hits over here, right? So it's this next, like it was a little lower. So then I thought, well, I'll try it here. As you see, that didn't work, so I'm stopped again. So now I'm sitting at 2 losses. By the end, late in the evening last night, 10 o'clock or so, and I was looking for the next move, because this is where I was kind of just getting a little frustrated. I was like, okay, you know, I'm down a couple R's. I've lost, you know, good risk management. There's nothing big. There's a couple positions that went against me. So I'll look, you know, make it up in the morning. Oh, but then, so this is our overnight MHP on NQ. So after I lost this and it trickles all the way down here, I decided, oh, I'm going to go long here. So I get in long, or actually this was a little earlier up here, right? This was about 8 o'clock. So 10 something here. I get in along here thinking, okay, now let's see if MHP will hold. So this over here is in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so I jumped over here again. I got a little bouncing around. It looked like it was going to hold, and then it just fell under. And it didn't stop me because I have a 40-point stop, so it never stopped me. All this was just chopping back and forth. But if you'll see here, it now has turned into resistance. You see, we can't get through MHP. And then it falls off. This stops me here. It's going up here again to MHP. I actually was thinking about long here because I was thinking, okay, maybe it's going to break it and reclaim it and go. I held off for a minute, and then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what, like, if I zoom out here, look at this downtrend we've been in for the last few hours. We've broken through every level on both dynes on both dynamic levels on ES and this one on NQ. Now we've broken through hedge pressure and the low dynamic, and we're rejecting it. So as I stepped back and looked at it, I thought, you know what, this is a good spot for a short because my 40-point stop was 510, would have been up here. So I'm like, okay, if it runs all the way back up there, then I'll stop out. That's invalidation. But right now it's looking like we want to go down. So I got in a short literally at 469 or something. So like right in here. It might even have been on this one, or it might have been up here. I can't remember. And it was about what 23:30 to 30 minutes before this giant drop. So I'd actually went to bed, I'd set my stop, and I look on my phone right as this is just knifing. And so I go to my computer. I'm up like 5 or 6 grand, which, mind you, I was down probably 2 to 3 already from those other trades, or not quite that maybe. So, but wherever it was. It could have been those C7. Yeah, it's probably 2 or 3. And so this is, I'm up like 5, 6, 7 grand here, and so I just end up setting a stop back here. I think I was like, I think I went through this one, then it came down again. And keep in mind, this was the MHP from today, so this level was not here. This was what I marked this morning. So I think I put my stop like 40s somewhere here, and it came back and it got my stop, and so it was a nice win. So I was up, I was up a decent amount there. I'd made up my losses. Like, okay, I'm gonna sleep good tonight after that. Got pretty lucky. This was the China announcing their tariffs, but hey, I'm gonna take it. As this came into MHP, I never had a chance to even think about longing or shorting or any of that, because this was 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. It went 60, 20, it went 25 points or so, more than that, probably 35 points. So then I went to bed. Now I looked at this though in hindsight this morning. I woke up, look at all night it just kept rejecting it overnight MHP. You could have done the same thing on ES that I did on NQ, and I probably would have done that had it been during normal trading hours. But anyway, so then if we get back to this morning, we had flipped that level here, and now we keep coming back to that and using it as support. So I really liked looking at that as support. Everything had looked all night, like I looked back and I thought, okay, so after we made it through here, that low, we made a higher low. We never really just kept selling from there. That was it, that one flush. And so as we reclaimed that overnight MHP, it did worry me a little. This had just rejected it, but at the same time, I thought this was a good risk to reward spot here. So I took that. It would put my stop right down here. So I had some, kind of areas where it had bounced through this area here. If we put like a, and this isn't something I'm usually using in Rux here, but I'm just kind of looking at the peaks of where this is bouncing, Let me make that transparent, sorry. just a second here. We can just do that. So see, it had bounced a lot. There was a lot of distribution in here in this area. So I thought, that's only 4 point. I could even get down here. I'll be below this little area. So there was some room. I like that stop. I like the chance of taking this. So I took a small long, probably like a third or less of my normal position size though here. And then I rode that all the way up to this high, and I think I stopped out in here because I started trailing it pretty tight. So overall, good day, and that's why I never traded during market hours later. And if you look, I was going to mention this red or this yellow line, 60.68. That's where it was last night. It hit a couple times. You'll see these arrows here. This was that leap competition. I don't know if anyone's doing it on TradingView, but I'm participating in the leap competition just for some fun. On my actual trades, I don't even think to trade it because I'm not paying attention to this. But I took a late in the day when we were approaching this. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a short in my leap account for the competition. So I think I actually have. Let's see where I'm at now after 2 days. Both days have been green. So I'm up $9,000. Some of those people YOLO'd and they're up like $1 million or $2 million. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be hard to catch any of those guys that got really lucky, but I'm just kind of taking some trades in it here and there for fun. So anyways, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see where the levels come in tonight, and then I'm just going to keep trying to take smart trades. In hindsight, I would not have taken those trades I took last night. The first few, I liked the shorts once we knifed through. I would have even been fine with this first attempt that we came into overnight MHP. I would have been fine trying to take that, but I should not have lost the other two trades before. So good learning experience, and kind of makes me think I want these to be more bunched up when I'm going to consider taking any of these dynamic levels. So anyways, hoping everyone had a good trading day. Good luck tomorrow. If you want to learn more about some of this stuff and these dynamics and these MHP, come join the Rocket Scooter Discord. There's $20, 20 days course you can go through, all that good stuff. So check it out. Shoot me a message if you're interested, and I'll get you the right place. So with that said, I'll see you tomorrow.